All right, Duke, let's dive into this Onyx V60 Robot Dog. A robotic dog with built-in automatic weapons. It's like every dystopian sci-fi movie rolled into one.
Yeah, it sounds straight out of a nightmare for some folks. But this thing is no joke. The Onyx V60 can haul gear, scout ahead on rough terrain, and even provide suppressive fire. It's built for utility, you know?
But isn't there a line? Aren't we crossing into dangerous territory by handing over combat capabilities to robots?
True, but they're not what you'd call fully autonomous. Not yet. Someone's always pulling the strings remotely. It's more like giving troops an extremely reliable tool to reduce risk in the field.
Okay, but you're talking about adding an AI dog to the chaos of war. I can't help but feel like it blurs the accountability. Who's responsible when things go wrong?
Fair point. Accountability in combat tech is a massive issue. That said, it's about balancing risks. You've got enemy fire zones where no human can safely go, and the V60 becomes a life-saving asset. Tools like this? They're the reasons fewer soldiers are coming home in body bags.
All right, moving on from terrifying dogs on the battlefield to dragon lasers. Explain this dragon fire system to me because it sounds like something straight out of a superhero movie.
Well, it kind of is. Dragonfire's a directed energy weapon. It uses lasers, not bullets or missiles, to neutralize threats like drones. Imagine precision so tight it could hit a target the size of a coin at a kilometer.
Wait, what? A coin from a kilometer away?
Exactly. And it's dirt cheap compared to missiles. Firing the laser costs just a few bucks worth of electricity, compared to the thousands, or millions, for traditional munitions.
All right, sure, it's cheaper, but are we really going to just ignore the environmental toll? Even lasers need power. What about the environmental cost of the systems that power these death rays?
That's a fair critique. Advanced systems like this do demand a lot of energy, sure, but consider the alternative. Rockets create more destruction, more material waste. Dragonfire minimizes collateral damage too. It's surgical.
But Duke, in a world battling climate change, scaling energy-intensive systems for combat doesn't sound like forward thinking to me.
You're not wrong, Klara. That's why defense industries are looking into renewable power integration. Pairing laser systems with solar or battery packs might be the future. It's about adapting tech for military needs while keeping the planet in mind.
Last but not least, let's talk about this Bell V-28 Valor. It's fast, modular, and supposedly revolutionary for battlefield logistics. You've got to explain why this aircraft is such a big deal.
The V-28's beauty is in its flexibility. It's what we call a tilt-rotor aircraft, which means vertical takeoff like a helicopter, but with airplane-level speeds. It can transport troops, be converted into an assault craft, or even handle medevac missions. And it's blazing fast, nearly 560 clicks an hour.
So it's like the Swiss Army knife of aircraft?
Exactly. Think about soldiers in tough spots, needing medical help ASAP, or quick reinforcements dropped into tight zones. This thing gets the job done, and gets out fast. Speed matters in survival.
All right, Duke, modular design sounds game-changing, but let's be real. Can it handle rough, unpredictable terrains?
Klara, I've worked in conditions that would make your head spin, and this bird's built for it. Sandstorms, low visibility, dense urban zones, you name it, the V-28 can adapt. Its situational awareness tech is off the charts.
Well, I guess that's another reason why we're rethinking the future of war. Let's see how AI fits into all this, because I can only imagine the debates around next-gen missiles making their own decisions. Speaking of AI in warfare, Duke, these AI-controlled systems, like the AFRL Mutant Missile, are supposed to boost accuracy and efficiency, right? But doesn't letting a missile adjust its own course mid-air essentially mean we're stepping into the realm of autonomous decision-making?
I see where you're coming from, Klara. The mutant's articulation control is cutting edge. I'll give you that. But it's not like the missile is making moral decisions. It's simply responding to parameters set by operators. Better tracking to ensure enemy targets are hit, not missed.
Still, doesn't that creep up on the idea of weapons acting on their own? What happens when they evolve beyond just responding to input?
Fair concern. But for now, the key term is input. These systems act as an extension of human calculation, not replacements. They're tools, not troubleshooters. AI helps ensure fewer mistakes in the fog of combat, which, trust me, can mean life or death for boots on the ground.
All right, let's pivot to these stealth technologies. Quantum stealth fabric. It's like wearing an invisibility cloak, right? Sounds great for sneaking past enemies, but doesn't it scream surveillance abuses and civilian use?
You're not wrong to be cautious. This fabric can change how soldiers operate in high-stakes zones, making them practically undetectable. But as for crossing over to civilian use, strict oversight is key. These things aren't Sherlock Holmes gadgets for just anyone to play with.
Okay, but oversight only works when it exists, Duke. We've seen this before with tech leaks. What prevents corporations or bad actors from repurposing it for mass surveillance?
I won't lie, it's a slippery slope. That's why governments and institutions have to set boundaries early. For the military, it's about survival. On the civilian side, misuse is an ugly but real risk. Accountability needs to be baked into every adoption phase.
Let's wrap this up with hypersonic weaponry, the Russian avant-garde missile, Mach 20 speeds, insane maneuverability. Tell me, how do you even begin to defend against something that travels faster than a blink?
Honestly, you don't. At least not yet. That's why these hypersonic missiles are terrifying. They're redefining the arms race. Their ability to evade conventional defenses makes them a game changer, but also a huge destabilizer for global strategy.
Sounds like a ticking time bomb for arms proliferation. Does this tech make diplomacy even more fragile?
It does. When a weapon holds that much tactical superiority, it shifts the balance. Countries rush to catch up, and suddenly you have an escalation loop. But here's the thing. Deterrence has its place. Weapons like this stop wars as much as they threaten to start them.
That sounds like a dangerous gamble, Duke. Do you really think we can control where this will lead?
It's daunting, no question about it. But history shows balance often follows chaos. Nations push boundaries, then find ways to manage the fallout. I'm not saying it's foolproof, but that's the reality we've faced for centuries.
Fair enough, but I think we both know the fine line between innovation and catastrophe. Let's dig into this further, how military inventions bleed into civilian applications. That's a conversation worth having next. All right, Duke, let's pick up where we left off, how military innovations spill over into civilian life. Take GPS, for instance. What started as a military navigation system is now a lifeline for everything from deliveries to emergency responses. How did that shift happen?
Correct. The global positioning system was originally meant for precise military targeting. But once the government opened it for civilian use in the 80s, it reshaped transport, agriculture, and search and rescue operations. You could say we've all been benefiting from military innovation.
And the same goes for medical advancements, right? Combat trauma treatments often evolve into civilian healthcare breakthroughs.
Absolutely. Battlefield innovations in blood clotting agents, first aid kits, and even quick surgery techniques have saved countless civilian lives. I'd argue military necessity pushes medical tech faster than anything else.
Sure, but we also have risky tech transfers. Take autonomous drones, great for monitoring wildlife or mapping terrain. But those same technologies can easily spiral into privacy breaches or misuse in law enforcement.
No argument there. The trick is keeping strict ethical guidelines. On the battlefield, autonomous drones minimize troop risk, but in the wrong hands outside combat, it's a surveillance nightmare.
Which brings us to the elephant in the room, Taiwan's dominance in chip manufacturing. AI, for both military and civilian uses, relies on these chips. Could this be the pressure point that escalates tensions globally?
It's hard to ignore. With Taiwan producing over 90% of advanced chips, any disruption there impacts everything, from smart homes to hypersonic guidance systems. It's a strategic goldmine and a glaring vulnerability at the same time.
But that dependency doesn't just fuel innovation. It ties straight into US-China geopolitical rivalries. How sustainable is this imbalance?
Not very. Supply chain resilience and chip independence are becoming national priorities, but that's a years-long solution. Right now, both allies and competitors are walking a razor's edge to secure their stake in tech supremacy. It's a major chessboard.
All right, last question. How do we balance innovation in military tech with ethical usage on the civilian side? There's promise, sure, but there's also plenty of room for disaster.
It's a tough balance, Klara. In war, necessity drives advancements. But when those tools transition to civilian life, accountability must lead the way. Governments, industries, even citizens, we all have a role in ensuring these technologies benefit society responsibly.
And maybe there's the core takeaway for today. With great power comes great responsibility. Whether it's navigation helping save lives or drones redefining agriculture, these technologies are a double-edged sword. It's up to us to wield them wisely.
Couldn't have said it better. And it's been great breaking down these game-changing innovations with you. For all the challenges ahead, it's the debates like these that really shape the road forward.
Agreed, Duke. And with that, we wrap another deep dive into the tools shaping our world. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Until next time, take care.